Hey, y'all, what's up? Episode 38. Check this episode out. This was another beautiful one, guys. We keep delivering different thing every time. We had a therapist on here. She's incredible. Her name's Amber. Look this episode up. You got to watch this. It's a good one, man. We took this into the COVID thing. We took it everywhere. It's really good information. I think you guys are going to dig it. We have a sponsor. Dre, we have a sponsor. Who are these people?
Happiest Med.
Dude, Happiest Med. Who's Happiest Med? Happiest Med, from what I learned through my trial and error, and I've tried that all, and I love it. Happiest Med is incredible CBD product. I don't even know how to explain to you guys how the sleep stuff works. I'm telling you, you've got to try this product. He's got 3 products here. He's got number 2, number 8, and number 14. The roll-on is the test for the pain, for the aches, for the hurts. Good stuff, man. All wellness, just day stuff, just all the time. Inflammatory stuff with joints, incredible stuff just for pain, and all day feel good. This is the number 2. Hit the number 2 up in the day. Take 1 droplet full of it. Feel like a rock star. When it's time to go to bed, fools, I'm telling you right now, this is game over. This number 8, sleep, CBD from Happiest, will knock you flat out, and you are going to feel incredible. You sleep all night. I do. And I wake up and I feel great. What the hell else do you need from the world? That's it. Look up Happiest Med, happiestmed.com. Well, how else does it go, Dre?
Use our promo code 27th hour, 10% off.
Promo code 27th hour. You get 10% off. I don't know what else you guys need to know. Please go try this stuff. It is incredible. Look up Highline Tattoo. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. All the socials, you know that. Look up Highline Tattoo Fab. Check us out there if you guys want little creatures built. Check out Dre all the time. You know where Dre's at. He's a G. He's on the U92. But thank you, happiestmed.com. You guys are incredible. Hopefully this will continue. We really enjoy it, and we're going to try to get this stuff in our studio where we can help spread it as well. Check them out, happiestmed.com. Thanks, guys. Welcome. You're listening to the 27th Hour with Junior
And Dre Rocker.
Get ready, strap in, and hang on. Hey, welcome to the vlog, okay, we're on the right track. Like, so you good? You guys find the game? I don't know. Welcome back to the show. What's up, Amber?
Hi, Junior. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
It's good to see your smiley face.
Thank you. Without my mask for today, you know?
Is that you're not that girl?
I am that girl, but I got vaccinated, which is great. But I only take this off when I've sanitized my whole area and things are sprayed down and shit's clean. So it's good.
So apparently we passed the test.
You guys passed the test. Yeah. And we're sitting distance apart. I'm feeling so comfortable.
You weren't at first.
No, when I walked in, I had this mask on. I was clinging to my fucking hand sanitizer.
Get the fuck back, Dre. Junior, who are you guys? Where's Erica?
I know. I was like, give me some essential oils already. My God, what's a girl got to do? I don't want any coffee. I just need some oils.
You walk into my fucking lair, my slaughter lair here.
We got smoke going. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, where the hell am I?
I turned all that shit off. I'm sorry. I knew that would freak you out too. I knew the smoke. I was like, there's no way she's gonna like the smoke.
No.
So I turned the smoke off.
Appreciate it. You know me
But
well.
usually it's like, oh, cool. And it's just falling. It's so cool.
It did look cool. It did not smell cool.
Yeah. No. There's a price. It's like being a pretty woman, right? There's pain is beauty. You got to do dumb shit to get all beautiful.
Price to pay.
Like, oh, my eyelashes, they're burning or
whatever. Exactly.
But look at this.
The product's good.
Dude.
Yeah.
How are you glowing, man?
Oh, thanks.
I feel it.
You feel my energy?
I can, dude.
Thanks.
You know I can.
Feels good.
So can you.
Yeah. Energy's good. Energy's everywhere.
And you're happy.
Yeah, I'm way happy.
You have a new practice. Is it out yet? Are you doing it?
I've been doing it for 5 years, but I'm going to be eventually.
You're getting close.
I'm getting closer, to embarking and doing my practice full time. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
I was
long time coming.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was like here. I thought you were doing it like right now.
No, like I'm in it. I'm doing it, but I've been working 2 different places, and so then I'll just be at one eventually. Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
I know.
And then we're gonna have a part 2.
Absolutely.
If you like it.
Why would we not?
In a minute, you're like, fuck this, I'm out. But if not, we're gonna do part 2.
Okay. I'm down.
What's life for you right now? Are you crazy? Is everything good?
Crazy busy. Cut back thinking I cut back my other job in January, working part-time there, three-quarter times at the other place. I thought that was going to provide all of this like self-care time that I preach about, right? Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Slow down. You need to not be multitasking. Just be mindful. I'm not preaching. I'm not doing it.
You're being a hypocrite.
Total hypocrite.
So you're a human
running
being.
around like a chicken with my fucking head cut off.
Amber's human. I never thought you were human. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought you were some kind of machine.
I try to be superhuman, but it's not working.
It's weird. I try as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Oh, ask my children. They're gonna be like, she's crazy. Like she's like.
Speaking of children,
yeah.
one of them's gone.
I know, my baby
Oh,
Hayes.
Jesus.
Yeah, he'll be 20 coming up, and yeah, I thought about adopting another dog, you know,
Right.
but no, I can
That's
only.
why I have 4 of them.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
No, but I'm watching my brother's 2 dogs this week, and I think 1 dog's plenty.
Yeah, that's more than enough, dog. Are you still at the place you're at?
Yep.
Last-
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Same place.
Getting
Yep.
it all fixed up.
Yes. Projects galore.
Good, dude.
You know, it's good.
I didn't even tell anybody. You're a therapist.
Yes, I am.
We didn't tell anybody that yet.
Oh, you didn't?
So hopefully they listened. Well, they'll hear the intro, right?
Yeah.
But like we just went right into being homies. How did
Yeah.
we met from a soccer team?
Yep.
Our kids played on the same team.
Yes, they did.
How long ago was that? Do you remember how long ago
Oh
that
my
was?
God.
That's like 10 years.
10, at least 10 years ago.
10 years.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah. No, I think it. Yeah.
They've been on the same team forever.
Mm-hmm.
My Cade, your Hayes.
Yep. Those were good times.
And we're like, I don't even remember how we connected. Or it's probably you guys, you two.
With your wife, yeah, with Erica. She was bringing treats for like the whole team and taking care of everybody as she does.
Oh my God.
And then we became friends because she was taking care of me too.
I'd say you have no idea, but you
No,
do.
oh, I do. She was Hayes' other mom.
Right.
I was like, I gotta work. What do I do? Oh, I got him. And
Send him over.
I'll bring the oranges and the Capri Suns. I got it all.
Yeah.
Like,
That's soccer mom from hell right there.
yeah, absolutely.
She wasn't going to sit in with me.
Yeah, the road trips were way fun.
At least now she's out here. She hasn't been out here for a while. She's been just run down.
Dealing with life. I know. It's not good.
What has COVID done to your business? I bet it's tripled.
It has. It's been super busy because.
Wonder why? That's weird.
I mean, can you imagine people having anxiety?
Because we're all going fucking crazy.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. The world's ending. People think,
Dude.
what do we do? How do we handle this? I can't predict,
We don't have crystal balls.
Nope.
None of us.
Nope. None of that.
So you guys are busy. You have to be.
Way busy. Yep.
What's like what do they bring to you? Is there a blanketed thing? Anxiety.
Yeah. What do you?
Is
you
that
mean
what it
that
is?
typically anxiety? Yeah.
Is that
There's
what's
a
kinda happening?
tons of anxiety right now with the uncertainty, and plus, what are we telling people to do? Go to the movie, go out to dinner, go distract, go do A, B, and C, and nobody can do anything because they have to be inside, which is making everybody crazy, right? And now we're out more, which is nice, and things are lifting, which is nice, but there's still anxieties. I mean, I walked in with a fucking mask on. Like, come on.
That's okay.
I mean, you understand.
Oh, I
though.
get
There's
it.
There's still,
Dude,
that fears,
I swear to God, it's rewired us.
It has.
I think you would be able to attest to that.
Absolutely.
Just in my little home therapy I do up here,
Right.
my coaching,
Right.
it's people are getting, you can feel it.
It's a different energy.
Everything
Speaking of
about
energy, right? We talked about that at the beginning. Different energy, way different.
Totally.
I deal with some health stuff, so I've done masks. Your wife can attest to this for years and years and years.
Not
like
a thing for you.
It hasn't been because in one of our Christmas pictures every year for the past 10 years, someone's
There's
got
Amber.
a mask on, or my kids.
Right.
And
well, you
so
gotta be careful though with
I know. So it's a little different, but I've been healthy. I've been well, which is good.
you look great, bro.
Thanks.
You really
Thanks,
do.
man.
It's been like 2 years or some shit
I know. It's
since
been a long time.
what was it? We ran over to fix something dumb. I can't even remember what it was.
My cupboard
Cupboard.
and the garbage
The-
can was really
Yeah.
pissing you off.
Dishwasher, some stupid shit.
It was the
For those
dishwasher.
that don't know, we used to have what I had in my cupboard here called the Amber bag. And it was grab the bag because Amber's something broke. We're on our haul out. We were like going there to help fix stupid stuff.
Exactly.
That a damn woman, and just it's hard for you guys. what?
Yes.
You need help.
I did need help.
And you now, I guess, have it, and I'm happy for you. But
thank you.
it's hard to do all that alone, right?
No, yeah, a single mom, and I needed some help on things.
Dude, you've been a single mom for a while.
How old is Hayes? How old is Hank? Hank's
20?
15. Yeah, 15 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you're just magnetic now. I can feel it. But what? That's hard, dude. How did you make it that long? How does a single mom raise two absolute beautiful children?
Oh, thank you.
Them kids are
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, they're sweethearts.
So that helps. If you had my kids, you'd kill them. How do you do that?
I don't know. Perseverance. I mean, I've always been really determined, never give up kind of thing. Like I don't know. You know you'll know this. The song by Fall Out Boy. Okay. And he says, "Put your hands to the keys and bring it on," kind of thing. Like that's my shit. It's oh yeah, okay, fine. I'm gonna keep going. I don't give up, but I get down. Everybody gets down. I mean, I'd have down days for sure, and it was hard. It wasn't easy, but I was kind of determined to I'm gonna do this. Do you know what I mean? I think. What was
because you're such a brain person.
Yes.
What's the perseverance, right? What do did you have a goal, or do you think just going is the magic of it all, or do you really have goals that you're shooting at precisely? What was your idea? Single mom, see what I mean?
I never want to be a victim because I met too many people that had been on hard times and dealt with tough stuff that had been a victim, to their circumstances. And when I say that, I mean they let that circumstance define their life and define their future. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't just the past coming into the present. The present was going into the future. So they didn't have, they couldn't let go of it. And so I didn't want that to define my life. I wanted to be able to be yeah, this happened and I want to rise above, Right. And this is kind of cool. I have to tell you this because this is part of the process too. So right after my divorce, I was actually a school counselor before a therapist. And so I was working in Logan as a school counselor, and I was, I was just this whole divorce shit. I was destitute, I was what life just knocked me on my ass.
So hard to go through.
So I went and.
Even when it's horrible, it's hard to go through a goddamn divorce.
It was really hard. And so, I'm a counselor,
I got this.
I can handle this, but I was no, I can't handle this. So I actually went and saw a therapist, up in Logan, saw him for a number of years, but he was the guy that inspired me to keep going, because I was I want to do what he's doing. Yeah. Because I was working in an at-risk environment. So I was working in an at-risk high school in Logan and loved it because the kids, they were all dealing with a lot of problems. They'd been kicked out of the mainstream school. They didn't want to be in school. They fucking hated school.
Right.
And I'm
what age-ish?
High school.
High school. Okay, so all high school.
All high school. Very, very oppositional. Very in your face. I want to fight.
Tear the world apart.
Which I love.
We know it all.
Yeah, I love him because you could see there's this bark, but behind the bark is really there's heart. Maybe they're can't.
Shut up,
maybe,
Dre.
That was me.
Don't you fucking.
Dre.
I thought you were saying it about me.
Nah.
Maybe they're
you bastard.
Maybe they're a cancer, Dre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
For real.
Anyway, so I helped a lot of these kids, but I could only help them this much because I was a school counselor. I had to make sure that they got credits, graduate, all this other school stuff, right? Yeah. But I wanted to do more of the counseling stuff. I wanted to do more of the figuring out A plus B equals C. Where did all of this happen and what led to this and how did this affect you in your life? And I didn't have those skills, And so after I was in therapy and whatnot, and I tell my clients that I think that it's important that if you're going to be sitting in the therapist chair, you've been there before, because I think you have empathy of what that's like to come into a therapist's office for the first time and not and be vulnerable and be oh, this person knows it all. Well, no, I've been through my own shit. Right. But anyway, I went and saw this guy. I met with him on and off for quite a while. Then I moved to Salt Lake. Anyway, long story short, I wanted to do that job. I'm I want to become a therapist. So I went back to college and I got another, I had a master's in educational psychology, went back to school and got another license, half of another degree basically, so I could do clinical work as a therapist. And so but I did that while I was a single mom, which was hard, because I'm going to school at night, working during the day. My parents helped out a lot with the kids and stuff. But I was I want to do what that guy did, And so
Why? it just intrigued you?
No,
It just grabbed you?
no, because of what he was giving back to me.
Gotcha.
It made such a difference in my life, in
You
my
wanted to
perspective.
reciprocate.
I mean, I'm a stubborn asshole sometimes. Like, honestly, I really am.
That's
like,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
But he had the ability to like call me out on my shit and put me in my place. Not very many people can do that because I get feisty, right?
Right.
And so I respected him a lot. Of course, it wasn't until the next week when I came back and I'd be like, okay, right, okay.
Right.
I got to eat those words.
Was it right away you felt it, or did you have to manifest
No,
it later?
I loved going every time because it was so validating, because someone was hearing me out and someone was feeling that, like, someone was understanding that I was going through something that it wasn't non-biased. Do you know what I mean? Everybody else had an opinion, and there was no opinion. It was just like, that's shitty. Let's find some ways for you to go forward. You know, there's a lot of reframing of the situation rather than like, well, that sucks. Okay, well, now what? How are you going to approach this? What are you going to do? And so, like, I think, like, as a therapist, that's made me, like, very solution focused. Like, when people come in, I want to talk about what's going on and what they're going through. But I also, that's only half of it, like venting, you know, like the catharsis of getting it out and just sobbing and crying and getting in touch with all that. But the now what, I think that's what's missing sometimes. You know what I mean? Because if you're just doing this, nothing changes. But if you're like, okay, well, this is the shit that I'm dealing with, and now these are some real life solutions I can apply.
The now what
okay,
part.
I have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other
yeah.
than that, you're a dumping ground.
Well, yeah.
People
and
come dump, and
Yeah.
now in your shoes, now, right? You
Yeah.
get dumped on, you take it.
um,
You got to go.
well, not really, because I've learned some ways to block all of that out. I'm big into like energy work and energy healing, and
Gotcha.
I think that that's very important to protect your energy. You're not taking on other people's shit. I mean, I had to learn that over the years, though. That first year as a therapist, I think I went home crying every goddamn day.
There we go.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't
Because
think therapists all do your work.
I was taking it on. Well, and
Your energy
I've
work.
worked in I worked in inpatient care. I've worked in inpatient care for 13 years. Inpatient crisis care, like screaming, yelling in your face,
Trouble.
kids sent away from home. And then I've done the outpatient practice for 5 years. So this was really, really intense. But I think it was great because it's prepared me more for the outpatient work. Whereas, because I've seen both sides. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I know, like, do this stuff now because I've talked to clients where they're like in the schools and they're struggling. And I'm like, you got to get your shit together, because the other side, when your parents have to send you away because there's no other resources to get you in school,
Yeah.
it's just really sad, you know? And I've seen those kids, tons of heartache, tons of pain. Like, well, I guess my mom and dad didn't want me. No, that's not true. You were kind of being an asshole. So, you know, your parents sent you away so you could get some help. But both perspectives, I think, have helped a lot, you know?
Sure.
Whereas if I was only doing inpatient, it's just inpatient, right? You don't see them then when they're in the community. But it kind of like was the hybrid, because look, I was a school counselor. I'm in the community. That's what I'm doing. I'm in the school. I'm, you know, collaborating with the other folks, whether that's the teacher, whether that's the coach, whether, you know what I mean? Community folks that are in the school. And so now it's like community folks, but I've done the inpatient. So you kind of like see that, I don't know, it's kind of a trajectory, I guess.
Sure. In the school, it's more tribal. It's like everybody's there all day, every day.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to a spot. Like you get
Yeah.
now, you have random.
Yeah.
There's all that.
Yeah.
Ties it in. It's
Yeah.
kinda
Which
cool.
is pretty cool. Yeah.
Do you prefer? You just like to work with people. I'm sure.
I
but
love people.
What do you love? Is there one more? Would you love just to work? Would you like it just in one angle? Like I would just
a
love to work with
special
kids.
population.
Like I just want to work with kids, or
I
do you just?
definitely specialize in teenagers. I totally specialize in teens because I've had 13 years of inpatient care with in-your-face teens that don't want to come in, right? But that being said, I love working with adults because adults have more, you know, brain power, so to speak. You know, the frontal lobes developed, and they've got like the know how to like apply more of the skills, where the kids, they're still learning, you know? And so I
With
think I relate well to kids, though, like the teens. I can connect really well with them.
Is it sometimes simpler to hop into the still learning game? So I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Our behavior patterns as a male, I believe, by the time we're like 7-ish, is that true that our behavior is fairly set?
Yeah.
7 to 9 or something like that. A young man is?
Right before like adolescence.
To break that,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work to unbreak that, right?
Yeah.
So is it easier to work with people that are still learning a little bit, like kids, or more teach the old dog new trick kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes and no.
I know they're all
because
individualized, but
yes and no. It really depends because when you're working with kids, you're working with the family, and that gets way more complicated because if everybody in the family is on board, it's way easy because mom's doing this, dad's doing this. I'm going to talk to the school counselor. They're doing this. But when you're working with an adult, you're working with the adult. It's solely individual, right? So with kids, whether I work with children too. I do play therapy. I played the game of life with a kid yesterday, and it was super fun. I had 5 fucking kids. I'm like, this can't be true. She kept stacking up the little things in the car, and I was like,
what am I doing?
I know. But I think you have more of that hybrid work where you're doing individual with the kiddo, but then you're bringing the parents in, hey, this is how you can help. Like, help me help you. You know, Jerry Maguire, like, help me help you.
Sure.
So it's like, but with the adult, I mean, unless it's couples work, and then there's 2, you know, but
You do that as well.
I do. Yeah.
Which of all, I have so many questions. Which of all is, and that's such a broad thing. I'm anti-blanket. I don't like to blanket things.
No.
I have a hard time.
No.
I'm very just a direct person, basis, and that's knowledge to me. But if you were to blanket it in some weird way or categorize it maybe.
Okay.
What's the easiest to work with usually? What's easier to work with? Is it a couples thing? Is it a individual thing or a child thing?
Individual is by far easier because you got one person.
Just simply from that.
One. And you're working on what are your goals? What is your plan? But when you're working with kids, when you're working with teens, when you're working with a family, everybody's got goals, right? When you're working with a couple, you gotta walk and tread lightly because they each have different perspectives. They each have different goals. And so you can't be like siding with this person or siding with this person. So you definitely have to like be able to be neutral. And I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good at that because maybe because I'm a Cancer. I don't know. But no, I'm able to see all sides of the issue. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I mean, I'm in the middle. Do you know what I mean? When I'm doing that role, whereas as the individual, I can be more directive.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Do you think being more? I don't think we're born with anything. I would want to hear your thoughts on this. I don't believe. My perspective is that I don't believe that we are born with stuff. I believe we obtain things as we learn. We obviously learn behavior.
Right.
We have no behavior when we're born. I don't know all the like scientific stuff, but I feel in my heart we're blank computers and we're there to be wired. And like babies have no markings on their faces, no wrinkles, no anything. And as we age, look at all our crazy lines like I have, which is a behavior thing, I believe. But do you think? So, what about working with a child or an adolescent that has no family? Now this kid's wide open to you, but has no backing of a family. Is that even harder to deal with?
Yeah,
because you have to start from like zero.
Yeah, way harder. Well, and they don't have anybody that they've really attached to. So, you know, kids that have been adopted, for example, you see that where they've been adopted and brought into a family, but they have, depending upon what age they were adopted at, if they were adopted at birth, if they're adopted later, that's going to create way more complications because there's a theory called attachment theory. I could explain it through the lens of Frozen if you really want me to. I know it, but talk about it. I love it. But attachment theory refers to our primary caregivers, right? So when we're born and we have mom and dad, you know, if we're female, the relationship we develop with our mother, we're going to emulate that as a female because that's okay. It's being modeled for us. There's social learning theory, right? If I'm a female, I'm going to probably select, you know, men or, you know, relationships that are kind of like dad or the opposite of dad, right? And so there's these attachments that we make, but attachment theory talks about the bonds and the critical formation of attachments that kids make, you know, when they're young. This is really interesting. But they say a core of a child's self-esteem is developed by age 3, which I think is it's just crazy, 3. And so if you look at a kid that's adopted at age 4 or 5 or in the foster care system, 6, 7, 8, way more complicated because that attachment, a lot of the belief system is, oh, if you love me, you abandon me. If you love me, you get rid of me. So
everything's backwards now.
Exactly. So to make healthy attachments, they do this. People are nice to them and they push them away rather than bring them in. And so, I mean, the movie Frozen, it really typifies it because there's different attachment styles. So a secure attachment style is typically someone who's had mom and dad there. I mean, they're going to have ups and downs. Everybody has shit. There's no perfect family. There's no perfect people. We all have problems. But a secure attachment is an indicative that the caregiver was present and showed up for the kid when they were crying or when they needed help or, when they were in distress in some way, shape, or form, or just when, they just needed a hug. They were just like, hey, awesome, good to see you, man. I'll give you a hug. It's a secure attachment. There's something that's called a preoccupied attachment. A preoccupied attachment is where it's like an enmeshed relationship where the kid overly attaches to people. You see a lot of this in like codependency kinds of things where they're over attaching, and it originates from the caregiver, not being as present. And so they're like, I gotta be there. Or it could be anxious ambivalent where the caregiver's sometimes there, sometimes not there. And so then it's like, they've got to go like this, but those aren't healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is this is where I stop. This is where you begin. And if I know that, then I can go have other healthy relationships and attach to other people. But if I'm doing this with my caregiver, what am I going to do in a romantic relationship or a family relationship or a friendship relationship? We repeat those relationships over and over and over. Okay. And so in the movie Frozen, well, let me explain it and then I'll tell you because I'm getting ahead. I get excited about this shit.
Oh, dude, go. I love it.
Then you've got what's called an avoidant attachment style. An avoidant attachment style is a parent that was neglectful, wasn't there. And so the kid is like they're just pushing away and pulling away from everybody. It's like someone gives them a hug, don't touch me, don't talk to me, not making eye contact, that kind of a thing. And then you've got kids, like I was talking about, maybe kids that are adopted later on down the road. They've had this and this, maybe there's been abuse and neglect. They develop typically, and this isn't causal, this is correlative, right? But a disorganized attachment style, which is like, they don't know what's coming or going. It's like, do I attach, come here, go, someone's nice to me, do I push them away? Do I trust them, can I not trust them? So I mean, it gets really, really complicated. It gets really complicated when you're treating kids that have had early developmental trauma, who have been adopted, who have had, a lack of attachment. I've worked with a lot of kids where the caregiver was dealing with their own mental health issues, so they just weren't present, and it was really hard. And so the kid didn't know, and I want to just clarify though, there is a diagnosis out there that I think this is really key because I hear this a lot from people when they come in, like, there's a diagnosis called reactive attachment disorder. I'm not talking about that. Reactive attachment disorder is a very extreme, diagnostic classification that has to meet, I don't have this memorized. If you want to read the therapy Bible, we could get that out, but I'm not going to do that.
Got it all. Sounds like to me. I love it.
No, but it has specific criterion. Point I'm making, I'm talking about attachment issues. And a lot of us have attachment issues, even if we go on to have pretty normative lives, right? But it's that, how do I do relationships? Am I overly enmeshed? Am I too distant and really avoidant? And so I'm not letting people in, and I'm guarding my heart, and I'm keeping my cards close to my chest because I don't want to let people in. Or am I doing this, and I don't know what's coming and going? But it gets complicated,
Dude, very.
Yeah.
Very,
So Frozen, we've got Anna.
Okay.
Do you remember Anna? She was like, and these guys all had trauma. That's why I think it's so crazy.
Anna's one of the princesses.
Yeah.
Right.
So in Frozen, Anna and Elsa
are the sisters.
Okay. And Elsa are sisters. Okay. So Anna, she can't touch her sister because she touched her before. Her sister touched her before she, got damaged. I think she had something on her face. Anyway.
That's right.
So she's in isolation, away from, Elsa's in isolation away from Anna. So Anna, trauma. She almost died in the freaking ice too, by the way. But Hans comes into the picture and he's like swinging her off her feet and they're going to get married tomorrow. And she has what's called a preoccupied attachment because she's like had this trauma. She's been like, I'm not with my sister. Where are my parents? But she developed this over attachment. And I mean, this is silly because this is Disney, right?
But was it subliminal? My God, they nailed it.
They really did, yeah.
I wonder if they really think about that.
It's interesting, though.
Very.
Okay, and then Elsa, she's obviously the avoidant. Don't feel, don't conceal, don't feel. Like she's in her room. She's the ice princess. She's got to go clear out in the fucking woods because she can't be around anybody. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
She develops this. I'm not going to have any relationships. I'm not attaching to anybody. Then you've got Hans. Oof. He's the little manipulative narcissist in the story, right? That comes in.
Which one is he?
He comes in to swoon Anna off her feet, and he's going to steal.
The prince guy, right?
Yeah, he's going to steal. He's going to steal the crown, basically. Okay. And this is the disorganized. He's had all sorts of crazy stuff in his family, which I can't recollect right now because I haven't watched the movie recently. But anyway, very disorganized. He's manipulating. He's exploitive. He's doing A, B, and C. But that's not a healthy attachment, right? And so when you look at some of these personality disorders like narcissism, borderline, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, usually there's formative things that have happened in early developmental years, or there's been trauma. It's fascinating.
I mean, create that.
Well, not necessarily create. I would say that push
Frame.
that. Like it's another like indicator, I guess I would say. You know what I mean? Not causal, but because you could have. This happens where people have really, really shitty upbringing, and I don't know, they just like resilient. They're resilient as hell. Yeah, and that happens.
I got a question about that, so I won't derail you.
Hey, hang on. And then the other guy, Christoph hangs out with the trolls. The trolls are non-judgmental. They're like the coolest little creatures on the planet. They love him. There's no judgment. Like secure attachment. Yeah. You know, he can bring Anna and say, "Hey, I like this chick. She's pretty cool." And oh, what do we see here? And he's a fixer-upper, you know, and he's not like ruffled by that. Like, so I know, kind of funny, but attachment.
That's solid. I will really wonder if they think
I don't know.
If there's thought of this.
I don't know. There was another thing. I did a training a while back, and we were looking at Disney movies that typify personality disorders. And I did a training on it because
all of them.
All of them. I know. Cruella de Vil.
Like all of them do.
Off with her head. The queen of hearts.
There's always a good guy, a bad guy, a dick, a nice girl.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's kind of funny, but it's fun to train with like things that are a little bit more entertaining than just your run of the mill.
Don't we learn better through story?
Yeah, I'm kind of a storyteller. I like to tell stories. Yeah.
Isn't that the best way to learn things?
I think so.
From what I understand.
I think so.
Where you can grab a hold of it. It's because it takes you to the childhood thing where you're curious and
absolutely
everything just is easier to sponge take in.
Yeah. I did want to say one other thing. I'm super passionate about trauma. Because of how much that affects, especially early developmental trauma, 5 and under.
Trauma physically, mentally, both?
Trauma like divorce would be a trauma, death of a parent, death of a sibling,
so
parent having a chronic condition, parent dying of cancer, parent committing suicide, like early developmental trauma, abuse and neglect, early developmental trauma. Yeah, because all of those affect so much later down the road when we're talking about attachment, right? Because especially if that happened in their immediate family, I mean, when you look at
the closer it is,
Yeah, when you look at physical, emotional, sexual abuse, all of those things create so many issues. I mean, brain chemistry changes literally.
Yeah, it's rewired.
Yeah, and I mean, I go off on a whole tangent about brain chemistry and the freaking HPA axis of the brain and the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals. Like, I get super excited about that shit.
I love all that. It's beautiful.
I know.
In a way for people to understand how my belief is you can't help people unless they are willing to be helped.
Correct.
You force feed anything, it is absolutely not received no matter what it is.
Right.
They'll deal with you in the present. The second they walk out the door, shit's hit the fan again.
Well, and as a therapist, I can tell when I'm working too hard. Like, they're not going to get it. And I have to kind of go...
Just by body language?
The energy I feel, because I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted because I'm putting too much in.
Gotcha.
And that's not my job. My job isn't to make them better. My job isn't to cure them. My job isn't to convince them that this is going to be the best thing for them. It's
Amber,
their job.
Same problem. It's not a problem. I have the same thing where there's so much passion and love and thought and information via my learning is all, not just understood, think it's right. I go fast and you're like talking, you're like, they're not getting it. And then my little probably ego steps in and is like, man, shut up. And I'm like, fuck this. And I'll walk. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Sorry to bother you. And I'm like, don't say that, bro. But it's hard.
You can't personalize it.
It's hard though. How do you deal with? How do you?
It's just not my shit. Like,
you just can feel it.
It's just not my shit. Like I can feel when it's my shit. You know, I mean,
but you can grazily just move away from it and just slow down or whatever.
I slow the pace. I create space. I stop talking. I'm talking too much. What do you think? what do you
Gotcha.
think?
So
What do you think? I
engage.
pass the baton,
Engage the other guy.
Yeah, because and I will sometimes say, hey, I'm working harder than you, and I'm not going to do that. Addiction work, that's a hard one because they try to pull you in to work harder than them all the time because that's part of the addictive thinking is that victim stance. Part of the addictive thinking is minimizing and maximizing and grandiosity and zero state. And I can't do this and this isn't going to help. And so many of these thinking patterns. And so it just sucks you in. And before you know it, you're like, oh shit. Like
You went to their turf.
Yeah. And you can't do that because like I was just talking about those healthy boundaries. This is where they stop. This is where I begin. I can only come to here. And they can take the offering or they cannot, but that's not mine. I can't make that decision. And that's a line in the sand. Now I wouldn't have known that as an early therapist, a young therapist. Oh my God, I was trying to save everybody. Right. It's kind of like when you get out of college and you're going to save the world, or you're a new parent and you've read every book and you're going to be the perfect parent. And then you kind of go, the binky can fall on the ground and they're not going to fucking die. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just spray with sanitizer.
Yeah, it's fine. But I think that, as you grow and you evolve and you mature, you realize like, I'm going to help as many as I can. And if they're receptive and they're open, fantastic, but you can't open a closed mind. You said it best. You said you can't help people that don't want to be helped. Yeah. But I see this one all the time. Help me, help me, help me. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Reject, reject, reject. And then complain. How come nobody's helping me? And I say that all the time. And I'm like, well, you're help, reject, complaining right now. And if you don't want help, no one's going to help you. If you want the help, people are here, But I think sometimes we're not even aware that we're doing these things. Do you know what I mean? These are unconscious drives. I mean, it goes back to Freud. Unconscious, defense mechanisms, unconscious things that we do. That wasn't all sexual, by the way, despite what he thinks.
That's interesting work, man.
It is. But
it's so weird.
It is, yeah. But
some of it's cool, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's, and I think I have a lot of people, especially younger folks that come in and they're like, my mom wants me, especially teens. My mom wants me to come to therapy. I don't need to come to therapy. I've got friends. And I think sometimes therapy gets a very, a misconception, I guess, or that people think that it's just coming in, like we were talking about at the beginning, kind of the talking plus the solutions, that it's just coming in and talking. I'm like, well, yeah, that's part of it. But there's specified and specialized treatment approaches that literally help shift brain chemistry, help change, maladaptive thought patterns, that help shift behavioral, approaches and interpersonal transactions or interactions. I mean, it gets complicated, and I am passionate about science. You can see that I love science. Like I'm a nerd and I have to be careful with who my audience is sometimes. Because awesome. I'm like, can I get nerdy for a minute? And I love it when teachers come in, or I get like people that are like really like love to learn, and please tell me, because that's why it works. Because I think sometimes they're like, well, this isn't gonna fucking work because like I'm just coming to talking to someone. You are, but then we're gonna help you so you can see situations in a different way,
Right. Amber, do you learn when you teach?
Yeah.
As you teach, as you talk, as you go, are you learning too? Does that help you? Like it's crazy what it does for me. I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sometimes
as I talk, I generate it and I can start. It's weird. I go with it.
It's funny because it's like at the end of the day, depending upon how my day's been. Sometimes my days are like this. Sometimes they're like this. Sometimes they're just like, just kind of run the mill. But sometimes I'll just get in my car and I'll just cry, and it's like, why am I crying? But it's stuff that other situations have brought up in me, and I'm learning and growing and kind of going, oh, I could see this and I could do this. And I'm very analytical, which is a blessing and a curse.
I hear you.
And analysis paralysis, right?
I hear you, bro.
And why did A and B go together and how could C fit in? And how, I'm very analytical. And so I want to figure out like, I know. Oh my God. How does she deal with you?
I don't know. I didn't mean to derail you.
No, you're good. But yeah, that it's a release. And then they say, when I was going to school and when I was doing supervision before I was actually working with clients, or while I was working with clients and doing, in conjunction supervision, you've got to take care of your shit. And as a therapist, you always have shit every day. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night because my brother's dogs were up whining and crying. So I have to be mindful of that. Like, I don't want to like act that shit out on other people because my fuse is a little shorter. You know what I mean? And so that self-awareness when I drive home, and that's my time. I'm driving home. I'm not talking. I might be listening to music because sometimes the music really gets the the juice is further going,
Oh,
you know,
hell
and
yeah.
it's super emotive. And I'm like, I want to listen to this song. And then, but absolutely. I'm always learning. And I think if you're not, I think that's really, really, really sad, you know?
You're on your way to Alzheimer's, fella.
I
right?
don't know. I don't know.
I believe it. I believe. What do you think? If we are born, like I said before, blank, I think, and I believe we're just, our brain, I think we're wired evolutionarized
Mm-hmm.
from evolution.
Yeah.
We'll edit that. Fuck me. I'm talking to a scientist. I'm scared, okay?
You need
Sorry.
you just need to calm down. Do you need some CBD?
Am I freaking out? No, I need THC. Yes, CBD, of course. Don't take the sleep one. You'll go right to sleep. Evolution.
Evolution.
What did I say, though?
Born blank, and then
Born
through
blank.
evolution, you think we learn this stuff?
I can't remember.
I think you were talking about, you said, do you think that with that, you had a point we were going to connect. You don't remember? Okay.
I derailed and I lost it. I'm sorry.
Can I interject something?
Please.
Do you believe that if we're born blank, we're born with temperament and personality, though? Because this would be a debate of nature versus nurture, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I believe it's both, but I'm interested. Let's have some critical thinking here.
I truly don't. I'm excited to say I've come to a point in my weird life that I'm okay with saying, finally, I don't know how, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so comfortable with myself now.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I was headed that direction. I have so many questions. I don't know. And that used to be
That's
really
okay.
hard for me to say.
It's
It still
okay.
kind of is because I'm Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah. No, I like you saying, I don't know. That's perfect.
I'm vulnerable. Is that something you can do in your work to be vulnerable?
Absolutely.
Okay. I find it
Absolutely. Yeah.
super powerful.
You have to. Yeah.
What's the quote? Say something about yourself that somebody else would never dare say about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how it levels the field. It makes them comfortable. And
Right. Well, you can see that I'm telling you, I've been to therapy before. I mean, even having a client hear that, I don't advertise that every day, right? But if I have a client that's really struggling and I can't believe I got here and how am I here and I'm supposed to have it together and I thought I had my life together. I'm like, none of us have it together. I mean, I got my own shit, you know? And so I think that if you don't have shit, that's kind of a problem because
solving problems. That did it.
Okay.
Our brain.
Yeah.
I remember it. It's a good one. I want your intake, what you think.
Okay.
Our brains are wired from evolution
Okay.
to problem solve. I believe that's
Absolutely.
the purpose of the brain, period, is to obviously keep us alive and keep life moving.
Yeah.
But all it does is solve problems and decode and figure out and try to. That's about as far as I would go.
No, that's good. I was leaning up. That feels actually way better. My back was kind of hurting.
You sound great, so it'll work.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I don't know. Jesus, why am I so easily derailed, bro? That's fucking stupid.
Because I've got mind control going on.
Fixing problems.
What's that?
Fixing problems.
Oh, being wired to problem solve.
Yes.
Throughout, as we age, that just simply, if you don't use it, you're losing it. Do you think if we're not solving problems, you kind of don't advance?
Things stagnate?
Yeah, I seem to be happiest and most fulfilled the more I take on, the more things, not from a not being good enough kind of thing, but my brain loves to go through problems. I love to go through information as quick as I can and see what I can remember. Obviously, I struggle with it a little bit, but just all the stuff I like to do, it all feeds into each other. Is that what do you think about that? Is that how normal is that? Is that a normalized thing?
He's asking me to diagnose him.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. You already know
I'm
me.
fucking with you. I've already done that. Come on.
Right? Is that, what do you think about that? I've always believed, just from being a kid, growing up the way I did, maybe this will help, is that my mother and father, they'll never listen to this anyway, it's fine, but I don't believe family will, and please tell them. I was good enough. I was always good enough, but very scrutinized. I mowed the lawn. I did a great job.
Critical.
Next time, look at that line. Always pointed out one thing that I missed, which I'm grateful, because I knew what to fix.
Yeah.
But it really did something in here, I think, with what I've done with my own personal work going backward.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot of things through my mother.
Perfectionism. It brought up all of that.
And it makes nothing I do even close to good enough. So I do 10 million things in 7 trillion different ways and as fast as I can go. Yeah. And I'm trying to saturate instead of gain quality.
Yeah, it's quantity versus quality because you're still trying to heal that wound that was created years and years ago. And so, yeah, it's like you almost have to go back and fire the person's voice that's in your head that's saying that shit, right? You know what I mean?
How tough is that, right?
Well, it's really hard. That's not like easy. And it's still going to come. It's like ebb and flows too. It's going to come up and it's going to go down, but you're going to be able to, I think, have more. The fact that you know that that's where it's coming from is fantastic because then you have power.
I think.
Well, you have power to do something about it. You have power to like challenge it. You have power to go, no, stop that. No, I'm not doing that. No, you're not winning today.
Straight up acknowledging anything you're going through. Yeah. It's powerful. Acknowledge that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Acknowledging it and then being able to stop the thought train so it doesn't turn into the front runner that's taking you down and derailing you. You know what I mean? Where you're able to like be like, no, slowing that down. Not doing that. I got this, and actually that's a strategy. It's a cognitive strategy. Thought stopping. We talk about that, with cognitive behavioral therapy. That's like the first step, stopping the thoughts, stopping the negative thoughts, and then it's adding in different thoughts and, formulating new thoughts. I mean, it's way more sophisticated because there's several weeks and things that go into it, but that's the gist. But it's kind of cool because our brains have, you dig trenches and shit, right? Like sprinklers and all sorts of stuff. Our brains are the same way. They have trenches, right? They've got these pathways. The deeper the trench, the harder routed it is and the harder it is to change that habit. And so
would that be starting from age being the deepest kind of thing?
Age, repetition, our own internal belief system. Because if like with the grass, if you're like, fuck you, I don't believe in what you're saying, it's going to be less damaging, but you wanted that approval and connection. You're a person that likes to connect, right? You want to connect with people. And so it's like, well, that did really hurt. So as a result of that, what am I talking about? I just lost my train of thought.
I love it. Thank you. God damn, we're doing something right.
Yeah. Trenches and being
thank you. Trenches. Okay.
I'm in my own thing and I didn't want to say
I was going to go somewhere else, but then I was remembering I was talking about this. Sorry. I'm very circumventional sometimes when I'm working with people. They're smart. So
I think I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, because I can't be linear. If I'm talking A plus B equals C, I do that with people like as I'm teaching, but when I'm talking with people, I'm like, I'm going to come back to that. And I go like this.
I'm the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Okay, good. So anyway, trenches, our brains have these pathways, but the habit we were talking about, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I'm just using that as an example because you brought it up, right? So if we're using that stop scale, okay, stop. No, the grass looks great. Okay, stop. So that's one step, right? And so I'm like, I'm not reinforcing that pathway anymore because every time you'd say that to yourself, you just reinforce the pathway. You fed the beast, so to speak.
Automaticity.
Yep. You fed it, and now it's even bigger. Okay, so it's like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so then you're moving over here. Stop. Okay, but how fast is the train going? If the train's going 150 miles an hour, that's not going to just stop. We're going to have to do more, right? Okay, now I'm going to go distract. Now I'm going to go get my shop, and I'm going to do shit. And after that, I'm going to go build something because I love to build. Or now I'm going to go get Halloween stuff out, and I'm going to do my whole fucking garage and paint a mural.
You so know me.
Which he really did.
And
he painted his garage, mural on the garage, and then repainted the garage. And I'm like, who does this shit?
Me, all the time.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Dude, I stayed with them as I was in between homes, and I wake up at 12:30 in the middle of the fucking night, and Erica has got this TV hanging on the wall, and Junior's like a little bit more to the left, a little bit more to the right. And I'm like, who are you people? Do you sleep? Do you want my brother's dog? Because she doesn't sleep.
Right. Send him over. What is wrong with me, Amber?
I have no idea.
Why is it I love it?
It's these trenches, okay?
I love it. It's weirdly, I love it.
I know. So you're in your shop. You're distracting, okay? That's helping because you're like, okay, I'm calming that shit down. I'm going to go get a drink of water. Calming that down. I'm going to do a meditation. Hell, why not, okay?
Sure.
Now things are going slow. Now we can move you over here. Positive. Actually, I'm doing great. Look at how many things in my life are going well for me. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. Life's good. They say it only takes 17 seconds to get momentum going. 17 seconds. Positive, negative. You choose, right? So if you're like, stop, distract, moving over here, slowing it down through all these other distractions. So we're not giving it any energy. I'm going to ignore it, so to speak. But now I'm going to come back to it, and I'm going to give it shitloads of positive.
17 seconds
17 seconds. And gratitude.
To move it.
Gratitude's fastest way you can get momentum. If you want to get momentum, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You know, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful I don't have to do this day again. I'm grateful that, you know, I'm not going to do last night again with that dog. It's going to be different tonight.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's
Let's build this up.
Yeah,
We got to manifest.
I got to manifest this. Yeah. That little bastard's going to sleep.
Benadryl. Now we get into science.
Absolutely. Where's that CBD?
Number 2, as a matter of fact. There's number 8.
Thank you. Anyway, it's fascinating because if we can create now, guess what we're doing? We're priming the pump to create a new pathway. And our brains, neuroplastic, right? Neuroplasticity is a thing. So they found that neurons that fire together, wire together, we can create all these new pathways, synapses, et cetera. Like our brains are fascinating because of what we do. But if we just stay here in our rut, you know, we walk down the same hole in the sidewalk, you know, the old, I don't know, it was like a poem by, who's that?
I don't know.
It was Shel Silverstein. Yeah, it was an old. Did you read that when you were a kid? You didn't read Shel Silverstein?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm fucking old.
You're not old, dude. I don't know. Is she old? He's saying yeah.
True, I don't like you.
What was it? The sidewalk. What is it?
Where the sidewalk ends. That's the book. But it was
okay.
talking about like if you walk in a hole, walk around the hole rather than walking through it and in it and falling in the hole again. Anyway, it's the same kind of thing though. It's like we're creatures of habit. So what do? Now, maybe you create that new pathway, like when I'm working with clients in therapy and they start getting better, they're starting like, hey, I'm getting a lot of momentum going. My depression's getting better. My anxiety's getting better. Fantastic. Guess what happens over time? We go back here. That's just human nature.
Sure.
It's like how many diets have people started? They go back, right? Or how many times I'm going to drink more water. We go back. That's just part of life. But creating those new pathways is super important.
Is there something simple people could take from this talk?
Yep.
With
Stop
Seriously,
the thought. And it's literally
say that. Fuck.
Stop. Yeah, I always joke with my clients. I'm like, now you can do that while you're driving your car. Don't do that at the grocery store. People are gonna think you have fucking Tourette's.
Fuck it. I'm sitting here.
Stop.
I-15. Don't
And then
do that.
please don't tell people your therapist told you to say that because they're gonna think I am crazy. Bad shit.
Especially don't put your mask down to say it either.
Yeah, no kidding.
In a store. Jesus.
No, and I'll say this. You know, most of them laugh, but
Right. No, that's real. That's real, bro. But stop. Seriously. God damn it. Stop it.
Stop. No, I'm not doing that. Stop. And then
5 seconds.
distract.
15,
Stop. Distract. Redirect. Okay, what am I gonna? Gratitude. You know, I think like.
Dude, that's solid.
It's great. And I mean, even
so
just
easy.
if you think about momentum, so you go to sleep at night, you wake up in the morning, usually where you left off, where you went to sleep. But if you get the morning going with gratitude, guess what happens? Plus, if you get the positive train going at 150 miles an hour, when that asshole cuts you off in traffic, you're not going to be as derailed, right? You're not going to be all the way over here. Maybe just a little over here. And maybe you flip them off. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But like, you know.
Depends on if you do it with a smile. Hey.
Motherfucker.
Or, right? It's not what we do. It's how we do it. It's not what we say. It's how we say it,
Yeah.
right? That's the thing.
It's true. It's true.
And, oh, yeah, that's creepy. I could go for days. I better be careful.
What? I got something.
Bring it.
You know, you deal with a lot. You were talking about people with addictions. You're talking about children. You're talking about adults. You therapists a lot, right? How do you go in there with an unconscious bias?
I don't. I have biases, but I have to own them. You know, when I was in a college class, clear back when, we talked about diversity and you got to own your bias, you know? And so I have a bias that I got to work on with 20-year-olds because they think they know everything all the time. And I'm like, that's my shit. I got to work on it. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what your sexuality is. I don't give a shit. Like, but I got to work on that, you know, but you got to own your bias.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, that's a bias I got to work on. So I mean, I'm human, you know, and if it's something that I don't know much about, I'm going to be like tell me, you're the expert, like in what you're dealing with, you know, help me help you, that I can kind of help you with what I'm knowing. But no, bias is it's a part of life. We all have bias. I think people that say there's no bias, I think that's bullshit.
Absolutely.
But owning it, right? And going, you know, I got to work on this shit, you know, like my 20-year-old bias, I got to work on it.
Yeah. That's it. That's part of that's being
yeah.
extremely owning what you are, right?
Yeah.
Being very accountable for what you.
I also I remember when kids would come in like with a speech issue, you know, like a speech impediment or like they couldn't talk, I would feel awful. That's a bias. No, you need to treat them just like you would treat anybody else because that's you fragilizing them or pulling them down. They don't need that shit. They don't need someone to patronize them. They need someone to treat, you know. That's hard. That sucks, but not like let my issue with that. You know what I mean? Because I'm very empathic. I was like, that sucks, you know. So yeah, I think there's all kinds of bias. Great question.
Is there
He's full of them.
is there an off switch for being a therapist, or do you like?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like me, if I was a therapist, I'd be treating my fucking relationship like that. I'd be talking to my kids
That's
as a
what I said
therapist.
earlier.
You know what I
Exactly
mean?
what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Were you
I've made that mistake way too many fucking times.
That's what I was saying when people dump on you, venting.
I think it's, this is an interesting topic just because it takes on a little, I have to be careful with the friends I choose, if that makes sense. I'm someone that needs a lot of alone time too, because my day is filled with people. So like on the weekends, I need time to unplug. I need people that understand that. Thank God I'm in a relationship with someone right now that understands that. He does his thing, I do my thing. It's great. And then, we do stuff together, but I need a lot of that downtime. But I've made that mistake with my kids. Hey, I really appreciate how you're unloading that dishwasher. You're going to get 5 stars for doing A, B, and C. And he's like, don't therapize me, Mom. I know what you're fucking doing.
How hard is it to do that? Turn that off, right?
Well, and I think
to be real with yourself all day and then come home and turn it off.
But here, to be fair, as I have become more comfortable with myself, I'm just being myself at work. And so, but I'm talking heady stuff with science and strategies and application. And so I think early on it was harder because I put on that, that voice, that therapist voice that's so fucking annoying. No one wants to hear that voice. You know what I mean? It's like, don't talk to me like you're reading out of a book. But when you learn in the book, that's how they teach you,
exactly
right?
What I was gonna say.
And I don't like that. And the therapist I went to, he didn't talk to me that way. And I felt like a real person, And so I think that's helped too, but I have to be careful not to put that cap on and pathologize things that really aren't pathology, if that makes sense. I think that's something I've done where, oh my God, my kid is like talking back to me. You're going to be a narcissist,
Yeah.
And I have to have a trigger for that switch. It's like, no, you won't. I'm going to give you a narcissistic injury right now. No God complex for you.
Right. We're going to fix this.
And no soup for you.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, but I think that's evolved. You know what I mean? And I, early on, I dated, when I was for single and stuff. And I think I dated projects, honestly, people that I could fix. And I hate to own that, but I wanted to help people so bad. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not, no, you do.
Stop. That's
you
your
do,
stop.
Yep. You do you, I do me. And, if I'm having to do that, that's not really fun,
Right.
and that's not just like in dating, but that's in friendships too.
Yeah.
Because I really found it's sad. I've had to terminate friendships, where it was just hard because I still love those people, but it just wasn't healthy for me.
It kind of reminds me, like when you were talking about the daughter that dates a man that might be opposite of their father. Is it them trying to fix that man to be like their father?
A lot of the time.
That's crazy.
A lot of the time, yeah.
I have a brand new baby girl. She's 4 months old, and I'm fucking terrified.
Aww.
You are gonna cry. You're
gonna do so great.
Kid.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Dude, if she needs to be in magazines.
Really?
She's so
adorable.
Cute. It's ridiculous how cute that baby is.
Congratulations.
Both of your kids.
Thank you.
His boy is
That's amazing.
cutie too.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I always joke that the oldest child and the youngest child have the most in common in the family. And me and my brother, we're probably closest in my family, because the oldest child, the parents doing everything by the book. And by the youngest child, they're like, we don't even fucking care.
That's my fucking,
do you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
boy.
so we have extreme parenting styles that we've been reared in. And I think there's some, I don't know if this is just Amber theory. This isn't legit therapy theory, but I think there's some truth to that. I'm an oldest child. It's funny how, I've connected with my brother's the youngest. We connect the most,
Yep.
and we have like-mindedness because of those extremes, because they're still extremes. This one was way too hands off. This was way too hands on.
Wow.
Has parenting, do you just freak out though all the time trying, oh my God, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Is that hard to get through that? You're just your stop thing. I get it. But you know what I mean? Is it hard to
not as much as a parent as with myself? Like when I'm struggling.
That's what I mean.
I deal with a health condition. I brought that up. And so when that has flare-ups and I can't keep shit together because I have emotions, emotions are going to come up and they're going to have flare-ups. When you deal with autoimmunity, it's just part of the bag. But I have these two brains. And I always say I have these two brains. I've got this therapist brain that's like, you could do the stop skill right now. You should really go do some distraction. And then I've gone, fuck off. I don't care. I don't want to do that. I'm angry right now. You know what I mean? And so I think you got to allow yourself to be human. And I have to tell myself that, because I think this side of the brain knows some of those answers, not all the answers. Nobody knows all the answers, but some of those answers. And so it comes in and like, it's almost like, the moralizing judge that's telling you like, and that's not how I am when I'm doing it with clients, but that's how I am sometimes with myself, because I know it and I'm not applying it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're your own enemy, but critic, and so
Yeah.
critical and want to present well. And
Yeah, we're way more self-critical of ourselves than anybody else on the planet, But I think it's a cycle I go through, and then I have to get back out and go, okay, what am I going to learn from this situation? How am I going to grow? How am I going to develop?
How gold is that to pitch to the people listening that can get lost in words and stuff, like knowing you are your own only critic, truly. People don't really criticize us the way we feel they do.
No, because we only
that
have,
is so powerful for everybody to know.
Only have one relationship. That's the relationship we have with ourselves. Everything else is an extension. So I can always tell if someone's being critical of me, that's an indication of how critical they're being with themselves. Amen. Because they wouldn't be critical of other people if they didn't have that shit going on the inside. Because what's going on the inside, comes out.
Totally.
And so when we're good with us, we're good with our relationships typically. When we're bad with us, we're bad with our relationships.
See, how cool is that to watch that affect people? I have a presence, you know who I am. How cool is it to watch? I try to be, I can't remember who it was, that is the chameleon that tries to adapt to the person coming to me.
Right.
Oh, I can't remember his name. Tony Robbins does a big thing on it with, was it Siegfried? I can't remember who it was.
It's okay.
He would mirror whoever it is coming in.
Right.
However, just get to their level quickly. Mm-hmm. If I'm talking like this, you're gonna join me there. Well, listen, Junior, how about this? And then you can slowly. Okay.
Are you talking about a famous psychologist?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Albert Ellis?
Oh, maybe
no.
I don't know. Is it Ellis?
I don't know.
Where it's more of a mirroring thing, where
I know what you're talking about.
how powerful that is, just to mirror people, and we do it. We don't even know subconsciously we do it when we like somebody.
And I do that like as a strategy. Like if I have someone that comes in that's pretty dogmatic, I'm going to be dogmatic and I'm going to be very direct, and I'm going to be because then there's respect. I'm not going to talk like this and be like, "Come here, kiddo. Let's come over and play life." Like,
right. Now you're inferior.
Yeah.
So do you try to? Is that a good technique? To level the playing field. I find the coaching I do here is easier to quickly neutralize the field. I feel because of who I am, I'm extremely alpha. Yep. Because I'm actually not. Yep. I believe. I act tough and I'm not.
It's the Chihuahua. No offense.
Totally. I am the sweetest, but I act tough.
I actually like to hear you say that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, I'm doing some work, man.
I can tell.
And I've had no help. I just study a lot from me.
Yeah.
But admitting something in me that nobody else would ever say about them is what I do.
That's good.
And it makes me happy to know I'm insecure. I'm all these things. It's cool. We're a human being, and I feel like just by doing that, I can quickly get to somebody just so they can calm down and just know that I'm not smarter than them. No. I'm not better than them, and I'm no superiority to you at all. I just want to talk to you, see if I can, the tools I've cultivated throughout my little time of what I do, I would love to pass and see if it will help you. Yeah. And people just love to connect. So how is that's a thing, right? Kind of try to bring to their level a little bit and
well, the mirror matching that you're talking about. Yeah, for
to
sure.
a point. If somebody's completely psychotic, there's a whole other thing there.
Exactly.
Do you think we have a choice in every single thing of every single second of your every single being?
No. I think yes and no. There's my political response, right?
I love it.
We do, but there's certain things we can't control. There's going to be things that are inevitable that we can't control, and so you don't have a choice over what happens.
In us?
Yeah.
Okay. Like what? What do you think we can't
if
control?
you have a knee injury, if you have an illness, if you have a chronic illness, if you have a back problem, if you have, I don't know, you're left-handed and you want to be right-handed. I mean, these are just things we're born with. They're just things that we have. These are innate. We're going to have them. But we have a choice on how we handle them. We always have a choice on our attitude and how we approach it. Have you read Man's Search for Meaning?
No.
It's all about that.
Who's that?
It's by Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl was imprisoned in Nazi Germany. And he was actually, I think at the time he was was a doctor, but he wasn't renowned for his work as a doctor. He was renowned as his work for, he was a famous psychologist. And he went on to develop the theory it's all about, it's an existential theory, but it's all about meaning. And he found that when he was in prison, they could take away food, they could take away water, they could kick him, they could hit him, they could do everything, but they couldn't take away this. They couldn't take away this. And so his whole theory is about meaning and developing meaning in affliction. I love it because I think that's what choice is. It's developing meaning. Now, in the moment, we're not going to be able to develop it. Like, I'm pissed off because A, B, and C is happening.
Right.
It's a part of the process. But after, you're kind of on a different place on the road, you can kind of go, okay, what am I learning? How am I growing? What's the meaning?
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have gotten an autoimmune condition, I would have kept running around like a fucking chicken with my head cut off, and I would have missed so much with my kids. And so, like, there was really positive meaning that developed as a result of that.
Do you think that's the rule, or do you think you make that the rule? Like,
I think it's ambiguous. I don't think there's one.
Choice.
I don't think there's like one answer. I mean, it could be multiple answers, but it's a choice. It's a choice on what you do with it. But I think that
it's like the guy gets his leg bit off by the shark.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Those humans save the shark. Please do not kill that shark.
Right.
Most of them are so going through that struggle is pretty gnarly, right? What it does to actually, it changes your whole perspective on.
Yeah, it does.
On life, and you're like,
it does.
Save sharks, please. They're beautiful.
Right.
I was in their habit and all these things. It's pretty.
Yeah, it is. But when you look at the things you can't control, the things you can control, I think there's power. Because I can't control the weather. I can't control, that I didn't get any sleep last night.
But
I can't. Yeah, that's external. I'm talking about inside out. I'm talking about the things that your choice as far as like how you handle it, how you cope with it, what you do mentally with it. If you beat yourself up, or if you're like fuck that, okay, put the hands to the keys, motherfucker.
Fall Out Boy, bitches.
Fall Out Boy, right? Yeah, I love that song because it's like no, I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up.
There's a lot to that, huh?
Lot to it.
Struggling through things is pretty powerful.
Yeah, well, and you can't read that in a book.
Yeah, you have to physically
you have to go through it.
Sweat, cry, bleed, all these things.
Yeah. And so I think that's one thing I'm really passionate about in the work that I do is I've walked a tough road. I mean, I have. I mean, there's been times where it's been beautifully blissful, and there's been times where it's been really shitty, you know? But
do you think
I'm
that makes
not
a good therapist, though? Somebody
I do.
A tattooer that has no tattoos, same thing.
No, you have
Not
to.
gonna happen.
You have to be able to have something to back the product in which you're selling.
Right? So relate to it.
Yeah, you have to be able to connect on some level. I think you can only connect to the level in which you've been there. I believe that.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. And famous quote by Amber. No,
I love that
because if you haven't been there, I haven't, been an addict. Have I dealt with powerlessness? Yeah. Have I dealt with having to surrender? Yeah. Have I had to deal with not being able to do what I want to do, not being able to go to the gym and do A, B, and C because I had this condition? Yeah, it sucked.
The wrench will a screwdriver will do 5 different things.
Right.
You have the tool that you can relate to. You're like, this is
Yeah.
like addiction. I can use this tool for that.
Well, because it's a common core emotion. It comes back to that powerlessness, or it comes back to loss of control, or it comes back to, like we were just saying, not being able to, handle or deal with the things, control the things, I guess. Dude, I like control. I'm a fucking control freak, and so I hate that.
What do you think you can control?
Well,
Not physically.
Well, mentally?
Yeah.
Well, you have ultimate control of your mind, but the problem is we have to find ways to use that to our advantage. You know what I mean?
You need tools.
Yep.
I totally believe it because that control thing is weird.
Yeah.
Is it out of control?
Are you reading that book or something? The Tools?
Not that one.
Oh, okay. Because you keep referencing tools, so I wondered if you were reading that book.
Dude, I'm just making this shit up. I don't know. I'm just flying by the seat of my panties. I learn as I go, man. I love it, and I'm wondering if it's even accurate. But I think through my journey of wanting to change what I am, I have it written in here. Just wondering if you agree that you learn when you go. The action is where it's at.
Yeah.
You can't learn to be a psychologist in that book in your house. It won't happen, bro.
No. You get like foundation.
Sure.
Like maybe you could like start like if we're using the house.
But how much can you learn right here?
You can't build the house.
OJT, on the job training.
Yeah.
Nothing replaces it.
Right.
Because you take the technical and apply it when you're there. That's
no.
And I
and
gain that just by being with people.
I think it depends on how people learn too. Do you know what I mean? Because there's different ways that people learn. People learn through seeing, people learn through hearing, people learn through doing. Really, the ideal is seeing, hearing, and doing all three together, right? So you've got all of those modalities, but yeah, I think that's important.
Do you work with leaders? Because you've talked about a lot of things that I feel like encompass a leader, right? Like a supervisor or a manager. You talked about empathy. You've talked about confidence. You talked about so much things that I think that a lot of what you're saying could benefit somebody in a leadership role.
Absolutely. Yeah. Will you be a little bit more specific? Do I work with leaders in regards to like...
I don't even know if it would be a job title. I don't know what it would be. I feel like companies could really hire you to come in and teach them some stuff about what you do in a leadership capacity, because everything that you're, because I've led, right? I've led individuals at my 9 to 5, 30 different not stereotypes, but 30 different personalities, right? And so a lot of what you're saying can be applied in that capacity. So I'm wondering, has companies ever reached out to you and said, hey, can you come in and talk to our leadership?
No, I think that's a great idea. I think that, all of this is psychology, right? It's all about how it's human behavior. How do we connect? How do we build a company? How do we find a way to build a team and be collaborative? And, how can we structure the hierarchy so it's not a top-down, ruling, but it's like a bottom up, or it's like everybody has a voice, and, it's not that dogmatic approach. Because when you look at structures that have that top down, like, you're going to do what I say because I said it, so they fail. When there's more voice, and people they feel like they have a voice, they have more passion in the company, they have more passion in their job because they feel like they're being listened to. It comes back to human behavior, it comes back to psychology, it comes back to, we have to be doing things that we feel some kind of passion about, So absolutely, I think it would be. I haven't marketed, to that before, but I think it would be a benefit. Yeah.
Sounds like a nice check too.
That's what I would love to do. That's the coaching angle. I would love to do that. Simon Sinek, I'm a psycho for that dude. Yeah. I love Simon Sinek. Have you done?
I don't think I know much about him.
It's cool, man. Yeah. I really like him. I'm more of that guy, the Tony Robbins guy.
Yeah, I've seen Tony Robbins years ago. It's funny because this will make you laugh. When I was growing up, my dad would listen to Wayne Dyer. Do you know who Wayne Dyer is?
No.
Oh, he's like a pioneer of, psychotherapy, psychology, etc. But he's got some great shit. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. That's a book he wrote. It's good stuff.
Jordan Peterson angle.
I don't know him.
Okay.
Anyway, he's an old dude.
Okay.
But when I was going to high school, growing up, my dad would listen to that shit on the way. And I'm like, what the hell are we listening to? It's going to make your day great. It's going to make your day great. And then I worked for my dad at the jewelry store. What are we listening to? Fucking Wayne Dyer again.
You were hardwired as a child to do this.
Oh my God, look at this. And now I'm selling this. I'm like, I believe in this. Wayne, where are you, man?
Totally. You totally do.
Yeah.
So you knew from a young kid you wanted to do this?
No.
No.
No, this found me.
Okay.
It's funny because they always say, how did you get to where you're at? I was never going to go to college. No, I grew up in a family business. No one in my family went to college. Family jewelry business. Worked in the business for a number of years. Got married into a family of educators, and they all teachers and whatnot. And I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. I think I want to do that, So I went to school. When I initially went to school, though, the only reason I went to school was to dance. I got a dance scholarship. That's all I wanted to do was dance,
Hell yeah.
That was fun. But then I didn't want to do college, but. Went back. I did that while I was married, and then I had kind of some negative feedback from the family. I think they were a little insecure with me going, like maybe I would view myself in a different way, and it really wasn't about that at all. But it was hard. I still went, and the naysayers are like, "Oh, you don't think I can do it? Well, watch this. I'm going to get a master's degree too." Like,
right.
I'm a little oppositional myself. You can see that. That's probably why I like teens, but. No, what were you asking me?
Well, you did I was wondering what you were doing with the dad thing.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, you were asking if I if I grew up wanting to do this. You said this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So anyway, I went to college, and get this, my college counselor was my high school counselor. She was a single mom, and she like really opened up to me. So this was another key person in my life. And I went in, I'd cry to her, and I'd be like, I don't think I can do this. My family's kind of not really on board, and they're saying that I shouldn't do it. And she really just like empowered me, you know, and you can do this. And she was a school counselor. Look at what the path that I ended up on, right? But no, I was going to be a preschool teacher. I was actually first job out of college. I worked at Head Start as a preschool teacher. And then I did 2 internships, a preschool teacher, and then I did high school counseling. Loved them both. But they're both extreme ends, you know, different ends of the spectrum of development. And then after my son was born, I went back to college to get my master's in counseling and did the school counseling program. And so but then I was just going to be a school counselor, but then look at how my life experience led me to doing therapy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I was going to be like a nutritionist, or I was going to be an interior designer, or I was going to be like, you know, airline attendant. I mean, I had all these jobs, you know, this was never on the radar. But it's funny, that early dedevelopmental stuff. I'm listening to this stuff with my dad, you know.
Dude, it's powerful.
And even I had anxiety as a kid. I mean, I still have anxiety. But anyway, I had drill team when I was in high school, and he'd come down and he'd put on these meditations for me. And he's like, this is going to help you. Like,
oh my God, look at the monster in front of me.
Oh my God. And now I'm like,
So
Hayes, you've really got to be doing some
You got to
mindfulness.
listen to this.
And he's like, Mom, that mindfulness shit works.
Your kids, I love it. They love it too. You know they do.
I know. So
Do you think either one of them's going to follow your
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I don't know. I really don't. I think Hayes is pretty business savvy. You know, he's got an entrepreneurial spirit. He does not want to work for anybody. So I think he'll do something. I don't know about Hinks. Hinks says that she wants to go to Cali, and she wants to surf, and she wants to be in a band.
Dude, good for her.
And can't you just see her surfing and
Totally
her chill
fucking see that.
vibe, and
Yeah.
you know, playing, and she's learning the guitar right now.
She looks exactly like you. You guys are
As she's gotten
so-
older, she doesn't
I can
she?
see it when I'm talking to
Yeah.
you. It's freaking me
Except for
out.
she's got her long wavy red hair.
She's such a cute
she's
kid.
cutie.
How old is she
Yeah,
now?
she's 15.
Dude.
And
So she's a little older than Lance. No, same
they're
age.
same age, yeah. If I can brag for just 1 minute.
Please.
She's a dancer. She dances with Infinity Dance. And she's been trying really hard to get to the next team up, and been working. In the past 2 years, hasn't made it. Lots of tears. Talk about perseverance, right? Okay, lots of tears.
Okay.
And I'm like, you take that and you push, you go, you show them you're ready. You show them you can do this. You know. So she's been working her ass off, and she's been working really hard at these conventions, and they're like national conventions. Like, we're talking Dancing with the Stars shit, like teaching them, like teachers and stuff, like big wig people from LA and stuff. Anyway, she got a scholarship at this last dance convention.
Good.
Yeah.
See, her fucking hard work paid off.
Yeah, she sobbing, just happy tears.
Happy that she got it now.
Well, and I said, you know what?
she's
It
a sweet girl.
would not have mattered as much if you didn't have to work so hard. You know, she worked her ass off. And, you know, and now I'm like, keep going. But you look at obstacles, look at that. You can get you have the obstacle, and it's like, okay, I suck. I didn't get selected for the upper team. I'm not there yet. Okay. You back off. Or you're like,
gift.
Or, okay. I keep using this reference,
It's perfect.
but it's like,
It's so mechanical.
Put your hands to the keys.
Very mechanical.
And
I love that.
bring it on. You know, it's like, I'll show you.
Dude, you do it every time. I love it. That's ingrained in you now.
It kind of is.
It's a thing. It's fucking cool.
I play the guitar.
You do play the guitar?
Totally.
Fuck, that's
I've been
cool.
playing for 2 years.
Good for you.
My teacher's awesome. But we've kind of gone into a mode where it's a little bit easier just because I've been so busy that I was at the intermediate level, and, you know, Joe Satriani, that kind of stuff. I was starting some of that, and it was hard shit.
Dude. But I bet it relaxes the shit out of you.
Oh, it's such good therapy. But when it was too much that I had to think about, you know, so I've got the songs that I play that are just like chill out songs, you know, but that's been great therapy.
He fucking knows
Love music.
It is the most powerful thing on this planet.
Way powerful.
It physically will make you do things. There's nothing else in the world that can physically change you.
Yep. No, I know.
It's external like that.
I love it.
A gun in your face is one thing. Dude, music's gnarly. It'll move you.
I love it. Yep.
It'll move you for sure.
And you know what? I've implemented. It was fun. I had a client. She's super cute, but she'll bring in songs, and the lyrics of the song kind of typify what's going on in life. And I brought my guitar a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, I can play Landslide. I'm playing Landslide. You know, Fleetwood Mac.
With her? Mm-hmm. That's dope.
And
man.
so my teacher was saying you should play the guitar, you know, with your clients and use some of that. He taught me Four Non-Blondes, What's Going On, and it's 3 chords, so it's super easy song. But I'm like belting out the song and singing it, and it was.
Were you scared to death? Are you that person though?
Oh, I sing
out loud in front of people.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that would scare you.
My voice that actually doesn't. I grew up dancing, so it's.
That's true. That's true.
No, that doesn't stress me. But I'm not like a. You're not gonna pay money to hear me sing.
Touche.
Yeah, we don't need to pay, but go ahead, give us a note.
Yeah, throw something down. I say, hey, yeah.
Now, what's the Fall Out Boy song? Put the fingers to the keys.
They're badass, man.
I know.
When's the last time you danced?
Oh, I dance in the kitchen all the time. I fucking love to dance.
That's therapy too, bro.
I love to dance. I grew up dancing. My younger years, go to the bar and dance, that kind of thing. But yeah, I danced in college, so that was the last kind of formal dancing. Probably 19 years of age. Mm-hmm.
Is that shit hard? Like football to guys? Is
that
tough on
you?
you?
I was in the best shape of my whole life. I mean, it was, I had to be there every morning.
Where they're on your ass, like, you're this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this.
I had to be there by 5. No, 4:45 if we wanted to warm up. So 4:45, and then we would dance until 7. People had 8 o'clock classes, then we'd come back and dance again at 11:30 for another 2 hours right before lunch. And then we'd have all day Saturday practices. It was grueling. We actually,
that's brutal on you.
Well, when we took our show to Thailand, I got to go to Thailand.
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was
awesome.
at Utah State, it was so cool.
Yeah. You were on a big deal team then.
It was a big deal. Yeah.
To go to there.
Well, and listen to this. This is kind of cool. I was not going to go to college, right? I wasn't going to take the fucking ACT. I'm like, that's for losers. Who takes the ACT?
What the fuck does it even stand for? ACT?
I don't know. But all my friends were doing it, so I did it, But I wasn't an academic. I was someone that I loved to socialize. I liked to dance. That's what I did in high school too,
Yeah, same.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, I took it. And then I didn't try out for this team. This was the upper division team for the college. And I didn't try out, but there was 2 people. One gal, her and her husband, she ended up getting pregnant, so she couldn't dance anymore. And then the other gal hurt her ankle, was out for the season. So they had 2 spots. So I tried out on a whim, I made it. And had I not taken the ACT, I wouldn't have been able to go.
Kids,
take the ACT.
Listen to this shit. There's some gold right here.
You never know where it's going to take you.
You don't, man. And being open and not worrying about it. Isn't that so crucial,
fun.
right?
Yeah, it was great.
Do shit, man.
No, I
do
loved
shit.
it.
Fail. Go fail again.
Yeah. Well, and that was a tough, like, some of the dancers, they were above my echelon. I mean, I had to bust my ass to, and the teacher, the instructor, she said, you're almost there, but I want to put you on the team because I know you've got passion. And I was like, sweet. Okay. And I did push, I worked hard, but what a great experience.
Do you think that's healthy to have, to do trophies for people to earn their, what do you think about that in the sports world, in the dance world,
everybody gets a trophy?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Good. God damn. Okay. I was making sure my brain.
No.
I respect what you think very much.
Oh, thank you.
And that's, likewise, I also feel
likewise.
That you get what you put into it.
Well, I think that if everybody gets a trophy, it saturates the pool that, why does it even matter? Do you know what I mean? Like the case I was just telling you about Hinks.
With Hinks, exactly.
She had to work her ass off. Those tears were tears of joy.
Absolutely.
I mean, and she
and
was
sadness.
so, and she was so proud of herself,
Sad at first and then happy when she blasted it.
And I think, to your litlittle girl's going to cry a lot of tears. My little girl cries a lot of tears. But I think one of the things that is the hardest thing as a parent is knowing that you can't rescue them from it, knowing that they have to go through that, but encouraging them that they can. Like, I don't know. That's like, I do a lot of that, like with parents I'm working with, like, don't rescue them from the hardship, because if you do that, you cut off their wings, right?
Absolutely.
You're not teaching them to fish. You're just feeding them fish.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, we've got to be able to instill hope. You can do this. Like just push that much harder. Like, show them what you're made of,
And look at the confidence. What do you think about confidence? It's I believe Mel Robbins. Do you listen to Mel Robbins at all?
Mm-hmm.
Her confidence is now, it's the ability to change thought to action.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is no longer something they believe, you guys believe we possess. It's like, it's an action.
Right.
Confidence is something you do.
Right.
Do you believe that? Okay,
I do.
I very much do. I was just curious that's the thing. Look at her now, confidence just from going through all that hard shit. If you would have swindled it, made it happen, she'd been like,
well,
I'm gonna wreck the Ferrari.
And it's not true confidence either. I mean, the fact that
validation.
Yeah, the fact that she was dancing with upper division dancers and getting clout for it.
Right.
That's confidence, right? But it doesn't develop if you don't get kicked down.
Absolutely.
And so it sucks getting kicked down, though. Oh my
God!
God.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Mike Tyson.
It's not about how hard you hit it. It's about how hard you get fucking hit.
Exactly.
And keep going.
Exactly. Keep getting up, Rocky.
Get your ass up. Do it again. Oh, man, I love all that stuff. I could go for days on all that. I'm a huge quote guy. I love quotes.
Me too.
I just live for them.
Hey, Erica, where's my phone? We snag my phone right there. I got a quote. And it reminded me of you guys. So can I share it?
Please,
okay.
please.
It came on today, and we were talking. I have like a motivation app that I subscribe to.
What is it?
It's just called motivation.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm paying for it or not because they asked me to like put in my Apple ID, but I hope it was free. But I don't know.
Account looks fine. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's see if it's gonna come up.
You'll find out when your bank account says Apple $2.99.
God, I hate that.
It happens to me every month.
Dude, we get it all the time. More storage this, more storage that. I'm like, bro, I'm not storing shit.
It's in the cloud.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it after all that buildup. But I can summarize it. Damn it. It was such a good quote. Did I not snap a pic of it? Let me see if I snapped a pic of it.
Not even a thing, bro. I'm looking mine up while you're looking yours up.
Okay. Yeah,
Can I ask a question while you guys are looking at this?
Yeah, for sure.
So, with therapy, do you think that it's good to, because in the last 10 years, I feel like therapy, well, even less than that, mental health has been forefront of so much, right? Yeah. So many people are aware of mental health right now. Do you think it's healthy to have a therapist before you need a therapist, if that makes sense?
I think everybody needs a therapist. Like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not afraid, I told you I've been to a therapist. I think that it's helpful for us all. Not because we're all, I think here's another myth. It's like, well, only really sick people are very, people with very, very bad mental illness go to a therapist. That's not true. I think that might have been true 40, 50 years ago. I mean, I don't know, in the 60s, they weren't even doing that people were institutionalized, right? 4 padded walls kind of thing. Mm-hmm. How many years ago was that? I don't do fucking math. So anyway, but point I'm making, no, I think it's very, very helpful. But it kind of takes on a different feel. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, hey, I just wanted to come in and check in and talk about some things that are going on in my life. And it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, if people have an ego, I always say your ego gets left at the door. You know what I mean? Because
do you find that in males more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Our brains are wired differently.
Totally.
Because men are wired to provide, women are wired to create relationships, right? Like that's how they measure their esteem, is how healthy their relationships are. Men measure their esteem on how well they're providing for the people they love and care about, and so there's a lot more ego in that.
Back in the day, it was multiple people as well.
Hunters and gatherers, and they're they got to kill to get the food. I think I had green eggs and ham there for a second. I was like, Dr. Seuss. Are we gonna get some Dr. Seuss books out?
He's awesome too.
Fucking hope so.
He's awesome too.
I did the double take. Sorry, I'm just.
No, you're cool.
Got
That's
my
Bobby
pot.
boy.
I want some Dr. Seuss.
Green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. How does that work?
It's all that stuff. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be for everybody, and I know that. When people come in and feedback's hard to hear. You know what I mean? And
feedback.
Criticism? Feedback. Feedback is designed to help a person improve. Criticism is you fucked up.
Who's the boss, right? Who's to say who knows what? It's so creepy to do that.
I don't know.
When we criticize, right?
Yeah,
it's weird.
I don't know.
I openly ask for it off every day. I seek it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I used to be the opposite of that.
Right.
I was scared of it. That's why I run toward it.
Right.
Do you know the story of the rhino?
Yep.
I have them everywhere in here. I love them.
The rhino. You gotta give me a synopsis. Maybe
the rhinoceros.
No. I know that, but like the story.
The rhinoceros. We believe, my studies is that it's the only mammal, period, that will charge toward fear.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
It will run. If it's scared, it will run at fear. Nothing else does that.
You've not read the tools.
No, dude.
Well,
I'm making this
shit's in the tools.
It's called The Tools. I'm looking it up.
It's a good book.
So I'm on cue and not even read The Tools.
It's facing fear.
It's weird. That's
literally facing fear.
I love the animal of that.
Driving down the road. I hate those big ass trucks.
Anxiety
I'm
stripper.
facing fear. I control you, fear. I'm facing you. I'm in like, you don't control me. Yeah.
It's such anxiety is extremely low because of that, I believe. Just going for me.
Yeah, you got to face it or it controls you.
Yeah. There's a lot of power there, huh?
It's paradox.
That's what I try to do.
What we hate, we make.
Oh my God. This could be a 12-hour episode.
What about couples? What about like, do you handle marriages?
How do I handle them? No.
Rephrase.
Whoa, what are we talking here?
Rephrase.
Do you talk with couples though, and how does that work? Do couples come in together or one-on-one?
Yes and yes. Sometimes they come in together. Sometimes they come in separately and then together. I usually recommend that they come in together, and then as they have separate issues, that maybe they talk individually at least for a session, so that helps me. So I know their full perspective and where they're coming from, so I can be more of like a united front. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But then I have some people that are like, we can't come in together because it's combat. So can you help me? Can you help her? Sure. It's kind of, it works best if they come in together, honestly. Even if it is combat, I'd rather try to find a way to peaceably resolve conflict, rather than just avoid it.
Do you find that was one of the questions that kind of went right to that was, when we want change in our life, it seems most of us immediately go to everybody else needs to change.
Yep.
Why is it so incredibly hard? I think I'm getting close to, I don't think in mastery of anything, but I'm really coolly open right there to where I don't do that, man.
Right.
I change. I think I got to change. If shit's happening, it's my fault. How powerful is accountability?
It's very
every
powerful.
single thing in the world goes right back to it.
Well, it comes back to accountability because you can't have a healthy relationship if you don't have your part in it. And there's always, we all have a part, if there's a couple, for example, what's your part? Because it can't all be on somebody else. That's impossible.
Well, isn't that what they come in with? They this, he that, they heard this, heard that. How powerful is it for somebody to come in and say, I think I'm doing this, man. Help. Is that, we're on the track there, right? Is that way more on the track to healing?
It usually
quicker?
Doesn't go that way. It usually has me saying, you're both being assholes.
Right.
And sometimes I've said
and how hard is that tripled in this pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Is that just made a monster because we're so, we can't fucking leave each other. That's not really super healthy, right? I've noticed more tension on my behalf of my relationship.
It's going to happen because we're in closer proximity.
Because I'm around her all the time.
Yep.
We're home together a lot, but I'm in her space. She's used to doing this shit alone, man.
Right.
And I'm here up in her world, and it's like, it's my home. It's our home together. But
right. But there's going to be more conflict. That's inevitable. But they say that these are the two top things to maintaining a relationship most effectively: communication and the ability to resolve conflict. Because if you can resolve conflict,
you resolve conflict by communicating.
Well, yeah.
Hello.
But also, you have people that avoid conflict, and you have people that are driven toward conflict, so a lot of times you'll get that mismatch. I hate conflict, and conflict doesn't have to be bad. Conflict's just, I have a difference of opinion than you. And that's okay.
That's normal.
That's healthy, actually, because it helps you to develop kind of critical thinking skills about what you really do believe. But I think there's a lot of threat in that from time to time for people because, I don't know, they want people to ally and align with them,
For many reasons, yeah. We want everybody to think like us, act like us, do like us. Ooh, that would be a mess if we were all like this guy. Woo! World War 99 right there.
Oh, God.
Dre, what do you got?
Well, what about bullying? I think that's something that we haven't talked about. It's something that my son is now he's in the second grade, right? And so he's seen bullying, and I guess I want your kind of insight on bullying. Do you deal with that often? Is that something that you see much of?
I do, not as much as I did as a school counselor, if that makes sense. I dealt with that far more because I was in the school, right? I have kids that come in that have been bullied, cyberbullied. Honestly, I deal with adults that are still dealing with ramifications of bullying, and so, yeah, definitely deal with it. It's a lot of it is teaching people how to the stop skill, right? How to let go, how to not internalize that, because if you don't believe that shit, it can't hurt you as much as it And honestly,
I say that a lot.
Yeah. But if you don't believe it, it can't hurt you. Now, it still hurts. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that and say, oh, it's just magical. Don't believe it and you don't hurt. You're still gonna hurt, especially if you're a sensitive person. And so you kind of have to find a way to like, stop, but be nice to self. And also I do a lot of reframing on what do you think they're going through in their life? Why do you think people bully? Do you think, because remember, we only have one relationship. And if they've got one relationship and that's the relationship with themselves and this is how they're treating other people, what do you think's going on in their world? I try to create empathy, because if you can create empathy, then you're not going to be as upset and angry with the person, because you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about that maybe they've got some stuff going on at home, or I didn't think about maybe they're struggling in math and they don't even know what to say. So they just act like, a tool in front of the class because they want to get that negative attention. So it usually comes from somewhere. It comes from their own insecurity. I mean, this happens with adults in the workplace all the time, where it's like people have to one up and one down, and people walk away feeling really shitty about themselves. And so it's like, hey, well, why do you think that your coworker's doing that? Why do you think? Probably because they're jealous. Yeah, they're jealous of your position. Yeah. Absolutely. Why else do you think they're saying that? Probably because they're new and they're insecure with their position in the company. And what's the quickest way for them to get recognition? Just to give some feedback about A, B, and C that's not working. And so it's really like reframing, teaching them how to see it in a different way. A lot of what I do is seeing it in a different way, because once again, if we can control the way that we're seeing things, it's thoughts, feelings, actions. Our thoughts affect our feelings affect our actions. We can't change our feelings and be like, oh, just don't be sad. Just don't be anxious. I hear this all the time. Well, my dad or my boyfriend or my brother or my best friend, whatever, just don't worry. Well, that's not realistic. That's not realistic, because we have thoughts that are creating worries, and worries are creating actions. And so if we can stop the thought, we nip it in the bud, right? We change the thought, thinking something different, then our feelings and our actions are going to be
starting a new trend right there.
That's cognitive behavioral therapy right there. Thoughts, feelings, actions. What I think about affects my feelings. What I feel is affecting my actions.
I had a tattoo client that talked to me the other day. I've so tried to aid her in the, I hope she does it, the coaching thing. She's so intuitive with, I think once you understand yourself and you're vulnerable and open to you, you can so start this work.
Right.
And I've done the same thing, but she told me something so powerful. How did she say it? I had it here a second ago when you were talking. I
was talking about bullying. I was talking about.
God damn it. What did she say? Maybe that was that person's 100%. Yes. Thank you. She's like, when you're interacting with people, it's like, we always need validation. Oh, you didn't answer the way I wanted you to, and I get offended. Fuck, man, calm down. Like, they don't owe you anything, period, anyway.
Yeah.
But she's like, you know what I've done? And she's not done any of this stuff. Like, she's just so into her. I love it. She's like, what if that was that fucking guy's 100%? And you're being a dick to them. You're not saying anything. Like, Amber says something. I'm like, well, that's fucking not what I wanted to hear. I'm thinking this. What if that was like, you're 1,000,000%, I love you, Junior. I've never been so open to somebody in my world, and I'm pissed about it. Dude, it was fucking real.
Because you don't know where the other person's
You have
coming
no
from.
idea. And that's what you were kind of just saying with bullying. It was so powerful. I'm like, that's dope. Like, she needs to create. I haven't heard much of that, but because that could be that guy's everything. And when I don't get the reaction I want from tattooing.
Right.
Dude, I've had to go through this. It's hard for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, am I not doing a good enough job?
Right.
Let's break this down. We're stuffing the seats in there, man. They don't quit coming.
Well, I think they've got to first realize it's the same concept we were talking about. They've got to realize that these kids are saying this probably to push buttons, probably to try to control them. And so don't give your power away. Don't give your power away to them, because if you are giving your power away to them, you're out there like being vulnerable. You're out there doing those things to face fears. These people aren't. Of course, they're in the cheap seats. I don't know. You ever listen to Brene Brown? She talks about the cheap seats. Mm-hmm. She's great. She's actually started as a shame researcher, and then she had a podcast, and she had a breakdown, and she realized that she wasn't in touch with her own shame. And she talks a lot about shame, but she talks about the people that are in the cheap seats. And when we go out and we're creating and we're doing things, and They're our critics. They're the people that put us down. They're the people that are going to try to pull us down. They're the people that are going to try to get back at us. They're the people that they're not putting themselves out there. That's why they're in the cheap seats, right? And so it's, I think, helping them understand back to why do you think they're doing that? And what, helping them kind of get some insight into that, I think helps. It doesn't take away the pain. You're right, that hurts. You're right, that sucks. And there's mean people everywhere. I kind of go matter of fact with people are going to be mean. There are assholes in the world. There are difficult things in the world. It's just inevitable. Like, you can't prevent it. And I think more of that acceptance, right? Acceptance of life on life's terms is helpful, because it takes away that need to try to control the other person. It empowers them to go, okay, how am I going to handle that? What am I going to do when people say that and do that? Am I going to crush and go recoil and not face my fears and not do these things that I'm good at? Am I going to say, fuck you, dude, I'm doing this. And either, you can watch me or not. You know what I mean? You can teach them empowerment from it. I love the word could. And I hear should all the time. Should is a shaming word. You should have done this. You should have done that. You should have done that. You could do this. You could do that. You could go this way. You could, so I think it's that empowerment. And it's instilling hope and empowerment within them and not giving energy to the negativity of the other people. Do you know what I mean? Because remember, 17 seconds. That's all it takes to get momentum going.
Stop
it. And if we're talking about how awful the other person is, you're taking away your power right now, and so it's bringing that energy back to what can you control? What's in your power? What can you do? You're not going to stop them. And the police aren't going to stop them. The prisons aren't going to stop them. There's assholes everywhere. I'm not profiling people in prison or people that are getting picked up by cops, but I'm just saying, I think that there's people that do mean things because they're struggling.
So when I do that piece of that, I always say with the react and respond thing, don't react to people. Respond to them.
Yeah.
What you just said was truly offensive, whatever the fuck it even is. You can't say anything right anymore. It doesn't matter what you say. It's going to offend people.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay. Mm-hmm. You don't have to agree with me or not. It's like,
right.
What I say to people is is it true to tell people, maybe I'm asking you, is it reacting to it is an emotional reaction to whatever happened. It's going to be a little bit incorrect, my man. You're reacting. Fuck you. It's like, I'm respond. Take a minute. That's what I'm trying to do. Slow down and be like, yeah, cool, man. What you think is great. It doesn't, whatever you're telling me, I don't even care what you want to say to me. It's
right.
I don't believe it. So it's cool.
Right.
But the higher up it is, a parent or somebody that's really gnarly to you says something that hurts you. That's tough, bro.
Absolutely. When
it's somebody you really respect and they check you and you're like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the nature of the relationship. Yep.
I'm going to respond to this.
The nature of the relationship will affect everything that way. Yeah.
Truly. Is there like a cool, just kind of, what can people just try to start doing through this crazy time right now? Is there like a 5-thing that's helpful, like stop, look, listen kind of thing? Is it, what am I trying to say? What's that word? It's
an acronym.
Yeah, acronym. Is there something like that for
the
idea of what's going on in this world right now?
We can use the stop skill because it actually is an acronym. The S is stop. Stop.
Oh yeah, you said it at first.
Stop. The T is take a step back. Take a step back could be, think about your perspective. This take a step back could take a deep breath. The step back could listen to some music. Step back could go play guitar. Step back could be go for a walk. Step back could pet that dog that's adorable, right? Take a step back. Get out of the stress. Stop. Get out of the stress for a minute. Whatever you do to distract, whatever that's your healthy distraction, take a step back. O, S-T-O-P, I'm spelling stop. O, observe. Notice what's going on inside my body, what's going on outside my body. Get in touch with your body, because when we get out of our body, our head runs the show.
You react.
And if we want to respond, we have to go into here, right? And so observing and noticing, what am I feeling? Well, actually, gosh, I'm overwhelmed with this because of this. And maybe sometimes what we're really afraid of isn't really what we think we're afraid of, or what, even with the pandemic, I think, it's not, maybe for some people it's the germs, maybe for some people it's the political, issues. Maybe for some people it's the lack of, cohesion and kumbaya, so to speak, with, varied parties and stuff. But everybody has different fears. Everybody has different things. But being able,
paper.
Yeah, but observe, notice, what is this really that's going on inside of me?
Sure.
Or what am I feeling? And then the P is proceed mindfully. There's the respond, right? Yep, I'm going to proceed in a mindful way. What's mindful? Mindful is in the present moment. Mindful's not bringing up all my past baggage. Mindful's not what if, oh my God, what if I don't get to sleep tonight and that dog's going to fucking be awake. By the way, she better
Just
sleep.
saying. Benadryl.
Yeah, she's cute. She's cute as shit, but oh my God.
So
I was reacting last night, Junior. I was not responding.
I've had to open this in my own self, man. I went deep in me. I think we're so open to learn. If we just seriously stop, like, I seriously have to just get in my shit, my own shit. Like, bro, calm the fuck down. What are you doing, man? And then I can seriously do it. I don't even know how I'm doing it. I don't have a way to put it into words. I don't have the acronym.
Well, I didn't coin that. That was coined by Marsha Linehan, who is founder of DBT. DBT is a phenomenal modality of treatment for mood dysregulation, anxiety, depression, autism, bipolar, trauma, you name it. Like it's just super good. I do a lot of it in my practice, but it's kind of a toolbox approach of like learning different skills. That's the solution part, right? And I love that. I teach that skill a lot just because it's very tangible, very concrete, and it's, I think it makes sense.
Oh, totally. And makes sense. You got to get there on different levels with different people quick, right?
Yeah.
Get to where they're at. See what's going to help.
Yeah.
Some people, it's just a simple quote and it just, bam, they're like, damn, that's brutal. That's good. So I don't work with a lot of damaged people here other than just normal life. Stuff. But life will get tricky, man. And I love to just talk and interact and connect with humans. I just dig it, man.
No, it's good. I do too. I do it all day, every day.
It can be taxing, but it's good stuff.
Exactly.
Different level when you're touching them the whole time, tattooing them, and you're actually
I'm sure
transferring energy back and forth.
Yeah.
That's a super powerful thing. And I try my best I do my best every single day to give it 1,000,000%.
That's awesome.
But I can feel it. It drains the shit out of me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I do my best again to not take it anywhere.
Clear it. Get rid of it.
Venting is a sketchy thing. I'm not into venting.
No, but getting rid of that energy, whatever you do, whether it's
go jam, go put on Devil Driver, go rock out, go do something like that.
I had one last question for you. You talked about science. What do you do if somebody, or how do you approach somebody that's maybe really religious, and how do you approach that kind of conversation?
Be a little bit more specific. What?
Maybe somebody's very, very religious, right? And they're coming to you for your profession. Do you have a hard time with that? Do they have a hard time with that as far as like receiving the advice that you're giving them or the talks that you have with them?
It kind of depends on what we're talking about. I mean, if someone's got, beliefs, that go contrary to some of the principles I'm teaching, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to meet them where they're at. I'm not going to, you know what I mean by that.
So you have an angle. You can go at it.
I'm going to be more interpersonal, or we're going to talk about other things. I'm very much more of a, I'm much more interpersonal and more spiritually driven than scientifically driven anyway. I do therapy very intuitively. And so I pick up on energy. I believe I'm an empath, and I pick up on energy. I can read it really easily. The second they walk in, I can feel it.
Yep.
And so I feel like I know that that's not a tangible scientific tool, but it's a lot of the way that I do it, where I'm approaching it with, I can tell pretty quick if I've stepped on toes or if I, speak in their language. And I don't have a problem if people, are religious or not religious or, believe in science or don't believe in science. What I do, though, I do try to get them to critically think about the other side of the coin. And sometimes they get pissed off at me.
That's somebody you can't work with, though, right? Easily.
Not necessarily.
Like, here's my wall. Boom, boom, boom. 4 of them. Fuck you.
But as I'm trying to get them to see the other side of the coin, it's not because I want them to agree different to their values.
Sure.
I want them to have empathy for the other person's values to diffuse and decrease their distress. Because, like if we use the couple's example of I'm conflict avoidant and I'm conflict driven. Okay. What do you think that's like to be conflict avoidant? Well, I don't even know what that means. Okay, well, let's look at that.
Start there.
Okay, well, what do you think it's like to be conflict driven? I don't even know what that means. So they're developing critical thinking skills, even if they don't believe in a certain construct, because it helps unite and helps them to feel less distressed. You know what I mean? Because I've had a lot of people, in various camps with all of the things going on in the world. And I don't ever, share this is what I believe and this is what you should do. That's not my place. But like, well, what do you think of this? And what do you think of this? And what do you think of this? Part of my job is to help them critically think so that they can have less distress, and if we can like create less gap, so to speak, even if it's like, I still believe this, but I could see how maybe they're getting that, or I could see how maybe that's where they're coming from. Empathy. It's the same thing as the bully. I'm creating empathy, right? If I have empathy, it's kind of like if my daughter comes home and she makes banana bread, bless her heart. She's so cute. She is not an organized child, but she is so sweet. Oh, dude. And there is banana bread from here to fucking breakfast. And I'm like, oh my God. Now, if I know that, she just didn't clean up the kitchen, like if I come in and I'm like, you didn't clean up the kitchen. Why didn't you do that? But if I know she was having a hard day at school and it took her extra time on her math and she had to talk to her teacher and she had to talk to her tutor, guess what I just got? Empathy. Now I'm way less pissed off about the kitchen. I'm still mad, but I understand why she didn't do it. It wasn't because she just was blowing me off. Do you know what I mean? And so I think empathy is a really important tool. If we can't empathize with where, our haters are coming from, our bullies or other people, the poison resides in us. Because then it's like, well, you're wrong and I'm right. Well, no, why? You just created more division.
There's no right or wrong or good or bad. It's what we believe to be, right?
Apparently I'm a pacifist.
It's so real. You can't empathize with anybody if you're not empathetic to yourself.
Yeah, and so I see all sides of issues. Right. Do you know what I mean? And so people say, well, what camp are you in? I'm not really in a camp. I don't even know what fucking camp I'm in. I don't have a camp because that doesn't work for me.
Right.
Now it works for other people. That's fantastic. Be in your camp, but don't be mean just because someone else is in a different camp.
Right. Empathize. Mm-hmm. That's powerful. And stop. I like to stop. I think stop's dope.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, that's hella cool. We could just go all night long.
I know we could. I'm so tired. I got to get some rest tonight, man.
You just prompted one more question, though.
Oh.
And this is my final one.
No, it's good.
No, I feel like, have you ever done a podcast before?
No.
This is your first one?
Yeah.
I feel like you did really well.
Oh, thank you.
Have you ever thought about maybe starting your own?
Uh-uh.
Maybe think about it.
Okay.
I think you can help a lot of people.
Okay.
Just with your insight and stuff. Think about it.
Okay, I will. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I might know a guy that can help you.
I think I met a guy.
We believe in this. I swear it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's unscripted. Cool. It's very just open and
it's cool.
There's no narrative. I don't have a narrative, man. I don't do that.
No.
I'm very open and easy.
Well, I don't do that in my therapy work. You can already see that.
Right.
No, I mean, I have ideas and goals and, obviously a plan, but not a plan. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like we have these 5 goals, but how we get to it, that's what I love. I'm a creative. I like to create. I like to I want to go this way and this way and this way and this way. And I'm not gonna stay on the road.
Right.
That's why being in the mainstream school never worked for me. As a school counselor, I liked the creative, out of the box kids. I
love all that stuff so much.
So fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
I hope the best for you.
Thank you. Likewise.
You'll make it though. We do it, right? We do it. It doesn't matter what's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, good things ahead.
For sure. It's already happening.
Love and light.
So people stop, damn it.
Yep, use the stop skill.
Have
some love. My daughter, it's so cute. Can I talk one more time about her dance? Because I think this is a good ending. The Black Eyed Peas, right? And I haven't listened to the Black Eyed Peas in who knows how fucking long ago.
They're dope.
But they are. But they had a choreographer from LA come in to teach them a dance this year for their production number. And with everything going on in the world, they're obviously doing this whole medley of Black Eyed Peas and stuff, but they end with Where is the Love? And they're all in white. They have these hoodies on and they're all different colors, and they ditch the hoodies. And it's getting me a little emotional. And it's like they're in all white, just like joining hands, and it's powerful because where is the love? And I think that's what it's all about, giving and receiving. It's about this. It's about the love, And so I don't know. I believe in helping others, but I think if we're doing it from here versus here, it doesn't work. And so I don't know. This is how I want to do it.
Oh, that's how I do it. That's exactly how I do it. That's why I lack a little bit more of this.
Yeah.
I don't have to know why or search for the why. I just do. I just know it. I feel it. I think if you have good intention's tricky, I know, but it truly is dope if you really have the good intention just to be a super dope human and just be cool to people.
Yeah.
fucking smile at somebody. Simplify it. Smile, for God's sake.
Yep.
That could be talking the dude right off the ledge.
Yep.
Like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? It is so fucking powerful, right?
It is.
Instead of a fucking text message. God, man, say something to somebody.
Right.
I'm a lovey, touchy-feely person. I know
Yeah.
that freaks some people out, but I love to touch people. That's why I love to tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And just smiling, man, is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it physically changes you. It makes you happy, right? It's tricky
For
shit.
sure. For sure.
So be good to everybody, damn it.
And
If you're having a shitty day, smile.
listen to Where's the Love.
And totally listen to Where's
the
the Love.
lyrics are so applicable for right now. I mean, the Bloods and the Crips and KKK. And I mean, we're talking about all this.
God.
Where's the love, you know? And I don't know. It's just powerful stuff.
Empowers unity, all you fucking dorkies. They all need to join, and then they got power. It's funny. What do you think? Did we slam it?
Good.
Slam dunk that little monkey. Thank you so much, Amber.
Thank you.
Do you want to share any of your socials and all that, where you're at? Is anybody?
Absolutely. My office is downtown in Ogden, just off of 20th and Lincoln. You can find me online though. My name's Amber Carlston, and I don't know if I give my business number. Do I give my business number?
Do you have social? Your social, you're not social security.
I don't have.
Do you have Instagram,
I'm
Facebook?
working on getting on my my website up and running, so I don't have that right now. But I'm in the white pages online as Amber Carlston Therapist.
Cool.
So you can find me. You can find me if you just plug in my name. Yeah, I'm just off 20th and Lincoln.
Or bump us, and we'll get you the info, people.
Yeah, you can. Junior and Erica can hook you up too. But yeah, I'd love to see you. Love to help you. Yeah.
Not as broke as you think. Calm down.
No.
I swear you're not. You're
no,
all right. Relax.
No. We're all broken in our own way.
Broken. I'm the broken. That's why I like to fix shit.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate
you
you
bet.
so
Thanks
much.
for having me. You guys are great.
Amber's the shit, y'all. Look her up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dre. Everybody be good to everybody. Thanks, Amber.